We work so you can play.
Well, I have more personal space than you do, that's for
sure. Most people do.
Yes.
You have some, so.
I have a definable amount.
Listen, I'm doing a new show called Dr. Chung, so keep going.
So who here is afraid of the warp actually coming to reality?
I embrace it.
Alright, we need to...
The warp?
The warp? Like as in 40K the warp?
Define the warp as like a different dimension.
That depends.
It depends on which show you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Means each. I'll go out for beer with them.
with the warp comes some pretty cool stuff though.
Yeah.
Like psychers. That would be pretty cool. I want to be a psyker. And faster light travel.
Yeah.
You can't have faster light travel without the warp according to the 40K lore, which is obviously very scientific.
And logical.
And logical. Incredibly scientific.
Yeah. And the Tau would never have developed without the warp.
Hey, I take offense to that.
That's their one and only mistake.
Well, we got clouded off by the warp.
Even if the warp didn't exist, Tau would exist because Tau didn't use the warp.
Allowed by one large creature or many small creatures.
That allowed them to...
To develop the technology,
I
right.
feel it's very relevant to the warp.
Well, it depends. What is the big creature? Is it like chomp chomp, you're dead?
Oh no, just
or
one large carnivorous creature
or it's like a
many
raptor,
small.
a velociraptor that like slices you open and eats you while you're still alive. Because
either way, just imagine the most painful version.
Well, anything that's the most painful, I would say, I not like the most.
Well,
more than
so which one would you imagine would be the more painful? A great white or like piranhas?
Well, piranhas.
Piranhas, yeah.
Piranhas.
Yeah, a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Although most
or
great whites
actually,
don't
you know what the
kill.
most horrifying thing to be eaten by is a tiger shark.
Really?
Because they weaken their prey before they eat it. They eat it. Like if you're swimming and there's a tiger shark, it'll go by you and take a chunk out of you, and it'll leave you alone, and then come by you, take a chunk out of you, and it does that until you're dead.
Oh wow.
Isn't that the Mako?
I don't know,
I thought it
spiders
was
like
Mako.
will
Yeah.
Maybe
inject
Mako
you
does
with
too.
Yeah,
liquid
because they're-
I thought it was a tiger shark. Somebody
Because
can
the
look that
Mako's
up
pretty
on
fast.
Wikipedia.
Because we're all shark experts now.
Fears in the warp to tiger shark.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about being eaten alive.
Yeah. Following one of those like it's a big plant that digests its victims.
Little shop of horrors.
Pardon me?
Little shop of horrors.
Yeah, something like that. You fall in its plant and it digests insects. It's almost like a Venus flytrap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you fall in one of those, you slowly get digested.
Yeah, that would suck.
Dan, you get over
That
here,
is actually
away
a
from
fear.
him.
But you'd die of like starvation before you die. That so it's not like it's like in Star Wars. It's like where you get slowly digested over 1,000 years, but you'll actually be dead in like 4 days because you'll be dehydrated.
Well, lack of oxygen maybe as well.
Yeah, you'd be like in a pool of digestion.
What's the worst way to die?
Awesome.
Whatever is the slowest and most painful.
What is that?
Either
What's the slowest, most painful way to die?
Well, you could be really like
what if you just never
down.
Life is a country secret.
Third degree burns on 100% of the body, and you just go after that and suffer out. Like I've had dust 100% of the body.
I
don't know.
This is getting morbid.
Isn't that what we're talking about?
It's turned out from a good psychological discussion of deepest, darkest fears to the worst
And
way to
now
die.
yes.
Hey, we are in the warp. What do we expect? Right, we're in the warp, and it's bound to happen. It's bound to go there.
You know, I think something that we haven't said yet that is the most advantageous piece of the warp is the creation of enemies, one way or the other. Yeah, black and white enemies, where you're like, okay, I'm for the warp. I like chaos, or I hate chaos.
What about the Tyranids?
No, he's talking about like zombies are, like consequence-free kills.
Yeah.
Where you can feel perfectly good for going and just getting after something.
Exactly. You have a black and white line where you're like, these are the bad guys.
Demons.
We are at war with the bad guys. There's no
There's
gray
black and
areas.
white
It's
in the warp.
just,
Demons.
I have a purpose now.
Demons are the good guys.
Damn it, I wish I had my other cameras. This would be my Scorsese tribute.
60 stairs?
I'm sure he thinks it's...
I love
Why
how
you jump 2 at a time, Holly?
I love it.
It helps.
60 stairs. What did you
Just
say?
jump 2 at a time and it's less.
We're having some pretty deep philosophical discussions.
I heard.
I wish I got your reaction, Chung, when you came up the stairs. That was the best. That was awesome. In fact, I would love it if you just like did that.
In this kind of
I gotta get it sometime.
Can't do it.
I've often wondered that.
It didn't help also, I smoked right before I came up those stairs.
I don't know, man. It sounds like a Tau excuse to me.
Could be.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that flies. Especially now that we're in the warp.
This is great.
I don't think.
Alright, here's a campfire.
There's some airflow in here.
Open the door.
I've been reading the Ravner books, so I really want to be a psyker now because they're pretty cool.
Psychers are cool. Psychers are cool.
Because they can do almost anything.
That's 3 hours sleep right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Matt. Here's a more direct one.
Oh, you're gonna
This is
see
some
some
campfire like stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. This is like,
So-
we should seriously have a campfire. Right
I know,
now.
right?
It feels like we're at a campfire.
So if you're in a room and you don't know how you got there, you just kind of you look in, and it's about a quarter the size of this room. Walls are concrete, ceilings concrete, floors are concrete. There's probably a vent somewhere, so you're not worried about suffocating. You're sitting there. You kind of wake up, and there's somebody standing against the wall, facing the wall, facing away from you.
All right.
What is the thing that you worry about worst would happen with that person? You don't know who they are.
If it turns
or
red,
why
if it's like a
they're
girl with the hair over her face.
Is that it? Like anything?
That's
can
the first thing
happen.
they pictured.
What would be the worst thing?
It's a little girl standing like this with long hair. She turns around, the long hair's covered in her face. That's really creepy.
That's the worst
That's
thing?
like one of the only horror movies I've
Like
seen.
from the Ring?
Yeah, I hate that movie.
Turn around, and they would
The
have
Ring?
like a shapeless face that would just be like smudged.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Juno.
You know what it'd be for me?
What's that?
Right there.
If the face turned around and it was me, and I realized I lost my mind. That would be freaky.
I was thinking the same thing, but it would just be you.
You finally, or you finally met your twin.
Where would I find what?
I said, or you finally met your twin.
Or that's it, yeah. And then I'd be really happy.
So
So,
why
of
does
course,
that
with all
be
things
like-
to be mixed with happiness and sadness.
There you go.
Well, here's another one for you.
Duality,
Here's
that's
an even
situation.
deeper question. You're in that same room,
Okay.
ventilation somewhere, but not big enough for you to get out of. But there's a door, and this door is locked, and it's too strong for you to be able to kick it or use any force to open it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're playing D&D or something.
In the middle of the room,
I know, right?
there's a pipe that's
Usually
about
it's
this
actually-
tall and about this wide. It's too tall for you to stick your hand in. And at the bottom of this is a ping pong ball. And attached to that ping pong ball is a key to the door. How do you get that key out of there? This pipe is cemented into the
Okay, so the
ground.
pipe, it does have a bottom though, like it's
Yeah,
not just suspended.
Yeah, it's just sitting at the bottom. It's about a foot deep, about this wide, just enough that you can't get your hand down, but the ping pong ball was
How
dropped
old are
into
you
it.
at the time, Matt? This is the key to the answers. How old are you?
Just
20s, 30s, 40s?
Sure,
50s?
20s, 30s.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
What's that?
Do you have a bunch of beer or water or something you drink?
Well, assume that you drank a lot earlier.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, when your prostate starts getting bigger,
That's awesome.
you better hope that pipe's not so high off the ground.
You're young enough. Let's put it that way. You're young enough.
Okay, good. Then not a problem.
That's a good one.
Just fill it up, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I hadn't reached that yet. I didn't know if I would. It's interesting. I hadn't thought of it when
That
I
was
mentioned
surprisingly gross coming from Matt. Yeah, that was...
Okay, well here's another one. You're in the same room, no pipe, no door, but
It's like
there's
an Italian bathroom now.
There's 3 light bulbs.
yeah, but there's
One
a
light bulb can tell
piano
the
with a
truth.
piano bench and there's a saw, but it's all concrete, so the saw won't be able to cut through the concrete. What do you do to get out of the room?
I'm sorry, what?
There's several ways that you can actually get.
No,
out
no,
of
you
this
said
room.
there's a...
a saw, like a wood saw.
Oh, a saw.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
wasn't sure which room you were in.
So yeah, so the piano and a piano bench and a wooden saw, but no doors, no way out. There's ventilation at the top, but it's too small for you to crawl out of.
No doors.
How do you get out? There's actually several ways you could do it, but there's one in particular that I remember.
We're playing
He's
Mist.
not out of breath.
I know.
He's not out of breath.
I kind of love that game.
You hang yourself with the
Anybody can
piano
answer.
wire.
What's that?
That's one way out.
You hang yourself with the piano wire.
No, not you've got to be alive.
Yeah.
So you're alive hanging yourself
Yeah.
with piano wire.
It's not a metaphorical.
Not a metaphor out of the room.
Hold on.
You literally got to
I
get
didn't
out.
hear the second half. Are there windows?
No windows. Walls are just cement.
And there's no doors?
There's
No
no
doors.
vents.
Is there a ceiling?
There's a little vent at the top, just enough for air so you don't die.
Is
So
there
you
a
wouldn't
roof?
fit through it.
No.
No, the ceiling is there. It's all concrete.
There's
concrete.
So that has nothing to do with the story. He just put it in there to escape the whole thing that you won't die from
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
suffocation.
gonna suffocate.
You won't suffocate. But
I'm
that doesn't
saying-
matter. You'll eventually starve if you don't figure a way
I
out.
say you play piano really loud until someone hears you.
Is there a piano there or just a bench?
The piano and the bench, actually.
Oh,
and a saw.
and a bench.
And a wooden saw. Not a wooden saw, a wood saw.
Like a chop
Start
saw.
your own country
No, like
quartet.
yeah,
Halfway there?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you can
okay.
wiggle and so...
Yeah.
Oh, a jigsaw.
No, not a wood saw.
No. Or you just take apart the piano strings and you start feeding them through the vent until someone sees this random piano string wiggling around. And follows the vent down to your room.
That was
Curiosity.
So I'm trying to figure out because there's no door.
It's pretty good, but it's actually not the answer.
Is there wood?
The-
But it's all cement.
The answer
It's
is
the
you
only
just
way out.
cut the bench in half. 2 halves make a hole. You crawl up the hole.
My answer was way better.
That's retarded,
So
dude.
lame. So lame.
There's actually like 3 or 4 answers. I don't remember the other ones. There's something to do with the piano that you do.
One of them?
No,
It
no,
should
because
have been.
it's like that. It's where you do something. It's word.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
took over
wordplay.
keys and it does.
yeah.
There's something about the keys.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right. One of them. There is a door. The door is locked.
Well, you can't change it now.
No, I remember now. Because one of them is that you play the piano until you find the right key.
Classic.
Oh, okay.
You play the piano until you find the right key, then you use that key to unlock
No
it.
one can win until after. Use one of the.
Well, you could get it one way, but I'm just saying there was like 3 ways, and one of them required.
What was that way with the door?
There's a locked door, so you play the piano until you find the right key, and then use that key to unlock the door.